Hi Raiders, this is going to be a video talking about the new farm dungeon. I've been running it since last night, got a couple tips, information I want to give out. From what I can tell on the stage, probably one of the best ways to run this stage is by making sure to have plenty of CC in your party. The bosses don't actually have that high of health, but they have a significant damage modifier once they're knocked down. So we'll watch her run here real quick. And I'm running Kaolu. He brings plenty of CC, and his buffs are don't require any kind of stacking time, so he's able to provide a strong buff from the get-go. Doesn't take time to ramp up. So I really like Kaolu as dungeon. The extra crit's nice. You can re-gear your hero if you have the gear for it. But yeah, you can see there the Taily, once they're knocked down, they take a ton of damage. Now the Reyna, this fight's a little different. When she gains 10 stacks, she automatically knocks herself down. So she has to land 10 attacks on you before she actually falls over. And she'll actually fall over on her own, so you don't actually need CC on her. Now, she does have to hit you, and I think she has to crit. I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't put any P-dodge or crit resist on your tank. This last fight, I don't think there's any special gimmick, but definitely once you go for the knockdown, you definitely see a bunch of damage. And that gets you some pretty fast farming runs. Ray Harton is really good, Loman's good, Philip's a good alternative to Loman. Most DPS tend to work, from what I can tell. Damage values will of course vary. For magic comps, Kaolu's again good, Ray Harton is again good. The fact that Ray Harton gives some physical amp while Kaolu gives magic amp. So if you're using both of them, they can work with either team. For the tanks on a magic team, probably a Silica for chip CC to go with the other two. And then the physical defense increases and shred that she has, or you can use Jane as another alternative. But you'll want to try to get some extra CC. Now, as for the rewards themselves, let's see, give me a sec here. Alright. So these are the rewards here. I want to talk about this so players can make the best decisions for the rewards. If you are a newer player and you don't have 5-star DPS or just don't have a lot of DPS or geared up heroes yet, I highly recommend you farm the random unique weapons. It takes 1,000 legendary frags for a random unique weapon. Each chick doll trades 1-for-1 ratio to unique weapon frags. So you need 1,000 chick dolls to get 1,000 random unique weapon, or to get the legendary frags to make one random unique weapon. You get 8 chick dolls per run if you're able to do the third stage. If you're not able to do the third stage, then the ratio will be a bit higher, but it's still pretty good. Actually, let's math it out real quick. Because the second stage isn't too hard, the one that gives 7. So this need to be a 7 instead. So it costs you about that much for the second stage. So if you're able to do the third stage, though, it's 12,500 stamina to get the 1,000 frags, or you get the 1,000 chick dolls and then trade the 1,000 chick dolls for one random unique weapon. That's actually a third of the cost it was previously. It used to be 37,500, so they actually cut the cost of that in a third. So if you've been saving a bunch of stamina potions, you're going to get triple the rewards you did the last time that we did a dungeon like this. My run stopped. Get back going. Alright. Now, if you're doing blue summon pulls, if you're a new player, there's achievements for blue summons, so I do recommend you use some blue summons a bit. It will get you some extra stamina, it'll get you some extra gold. It will be negative gold at first, but once you get high enough into the achievements, it will start to pile over, where you actually get more gold. Eventually, the achievements do stop, though. Once the achievements stop, then you're just spending gold. If you're a late game player who has plenty of gold and isn't spending a lot of gold on gear, you can dump the gold into blue pulls and get stamina. So how this works is every 100,000 gold, and this is if you're selling all gear, fill all the potions, and then sell the potions as well to recoup your cost of doing the blue pull. It will work out to roughly 12.85 stamina per 100,000 gold you spend. So we got the 1250 or 12,500. We divide that by the amount of stamina that we get per equals this. So that way, how many blue pulls do we have to do to get 12,000? And then times the amount of blue pulls we do by 100,000 gold. And I'll format the number, just make this easier to read. So it'll cost you about 97,276,265 gold per random unique weapon if you're doing blue pulls. And if you got the achievements, you can actually offset a lot of that cost with the achievements if you're a new player. And then if you're doing the stage 7 variant, I do the formula. It was... Okay, I don't need that in my way, thank you. Divided by stamina per pull times gold per pull. Format this again. Helps if I spell things right. Alright, so if you're doing the second stage, that gives the 7 chick dolls. The math on that will work out to about 111 million gold, 172,874 per random unique weapon. Now, if you're an intermediate player, if you have like 5-star DPS, you got you're working on soul weapons and you're working on getting your soul weapons enhanced up, you may want to be getting ethers instead of random unique weapons. Now if you're doing the ethers, what happens here is they changed the numbers. So last time the amount of points to purchase the purple ethers was 15. It was 20 the time before that, so it was originally 20, then 20 again, then they lowered it to 15, but now they bumped it back up to 20. The red ethers were 35, 35, they were lowered to 30 last time, and they're still 30 this time. So the prices did change, and that does change the ratio. Now before, the purples had a better EP ratio for the amount of chick dolls. And when I say chick dolls, it's the points for the shop, for the event shop. So there was a different ratio before because of that. Like, it was like this when it was 15. So before, you would get you'd be able to get the same amount of EP with less cost. So if you needed specifically the levels of 10 through 15, or anything below 15, or sorry, anything below 10, which is the blue ether range, it was better to grab the purple ethers instead of the red ethers. Now because of this price change though, the purple ethers are not worth getting. So if you are an intermediate player, doesn't matter like what progression, even if it's a soul weapon at level 0, hasn't been enhanced it yet, it's just E0, you're still better off getting the red ethers, and here's why. So when you break down the numbers, every time you add an ether, it has a set amount of gold cost, and it's the same for the purple. So the purple costs, every single purple ether you add to a weapon costs you 250,000 gold, and a single red ether is 350,000 gold. The purple ether gives you 30 ether points towards the enhancement, and the red ethers give you 50 ether points per enhancement. Now if you do the math on these, how this works out is I times them to get the same amount of EP. So 3 red ethers to get 150 EP versus 5 purple ethers to get 150 EP. So we're getting the same amount of EP on both of these. Now they have a difference in cost though, because you have to farm different amounts of the chick dolls, and they cost a different amount of gold. So when you get this 150 EP, it will cost you 1,250 stamina to farm those chick frags, or the chick dolls. And it will cost you 1.25 million gold to add those 5 ethers. Whereas if you get the red ethers instead, it will cost 1,125, so you save 125 stamina. And then that's 125 stamina you can use for more red ethers, or you can use it towards random unique weapons, whatever you want to do. Now in addition, because you're using the 3 gold ethers, they have that 350,000 cost, and it ends up costing 1,050,000 gold. So you end up saving 200,000 gold. So if you're trying to pick between what ether should I get, always get red. You will save more stamina. You will save more gold every time. Do not touch the purples, and absolutely do not touch the blues, because the blues are even worse than the purples in this the ratio math. In fact, I will give me a sec. I can actually add them in because I actually know this off the top of my head. Alright, so the blues, it's 100,000 gold per add, 10 EP, and they cost 10 chick dolls per blue, EP per blue ether, and gold per blue ether used. And we'll add the numbers down here, so we want to do that same 150 or stamina for 150 P. So you got the 10 chick dolls. It's 8 chick dolls per run times 100 stamina. And then that's just to get 1, and then we need 15 to get the 150. So it costs you 1,875 stamina for that 150 EP. And then you have to spend 15 times this, so 1.5 million gold. 150 EP gained in gold cost blue. So yeah, like I said, it's even worse. You spend even more stamina and even more gold just to get the same amount. Always get the red ethers. Now if you're doing really good in Eclipse, I myself, I get pretty far in Eclipse. I'm pretty stable in my ether rates. I'm kind of at the point where I'm going to personally be getting random unique weapons, but that's just me. all this is really dependent on where you at progression wise and what you need at any given moment. Run stopped. So that's how this works out. So recommendation, just in summary, if you're new, farm the random unique weapon tickets to build up either a number of heroes or grind the random unique weapons if it's a weapon you don't want, and store that as or end up using those for selectors for your main DPS. If you're an intermediate player who's not progressing too far in Eclipse yet and you're having some struggle with Ether to get your weapons enhanced, grab the red Ethers. If you're really stable in Eclipse and you don't have any Ether troubles, and at that point I'd recommend going back to the random unique weapons, because you can use those random unique weapons towards like future heroes. Like you can store the tickets and use them later when a new hero comes out to possibly get some random unique weapon for the new heroes released, or grind them and turn them into selectors that you can use later. So you have options for future use for the late game players. So that's the information I wanted to share in this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me. I'm going to leave a link to this document that I have here. It's publicly available. It's got a bunch of information like gold farm. I'm going to do some more stuff on breaking down the Central Orville rumors dungeons, like how they work on gold compared to now. That's going to take me a little bit, but basically it kind of works out. Don't do the Talisha dungeon for gold unless you're really desperate to get like a bunch of gold immediately. Long term, it's not good. This has a calendar. I keep the events and when was the last time events were run, so you can see like any patterns. There's a history of events that goes all the way back to December of 2019. So this has a full year and some. Or sorry, no, not full year. It's just sorry, 8 months. So we're gonna be moving into August now. So we are here, July 30th. So this has like all the events that have been hosted, so you can kind of see how Vespa has broken down the events when they're giving them to us and so on. Kind of helps for you for planning. I got a soul weapon tab here. You can calculate based on what stage you do, how many trial runs you do. It'll tell you roughly how much time it takes to get your soul weapon. In addition to that, it's got a chart here for Eclipse where you can plug in the ethers you get at the end of a run. It'll tell you what it was equivalent to the old system before they updated Eclipse, and it'll even break down how many weeks it'll take you to get the needed amount of ethers for completing those advancements using the 100% rate. I got a lot of information in here. There's a awakening calculator for weapons if you want, or weapons and UTs if you want to calculate how those are determined, and rough odds. I got an Eclipse tab, shows what heroes do what Eclipse. Got either video or image proof. We got stats on the different bosses, how much HP they have for the wave 40 up, so that way you kind of have an idea how much damage you need to be doing, and so on. So this is publicly available. I give this, it's out for free, so if you want to check out this information, I'll leave a link in the description.